Namaste. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet, around the world. I'm Greg from In5D, and you're tuned in to another Spirit Chat session. Welcome aboard. So, first thing I want to start out with, I'm going to take a peek at the Schumann resonance, all right? So this is what we're looking at. I just pulled it up. And as we can see, we saw this yesterday. As a matter of fact, it was right about here that we started our chat yesterday. And this is what's happening right now. So it's intensified. Whatever we had yesterday has intensified into today. Let's pull up a bigger version on the Russian website. So yeah, you can see the white here is almost twice as far down. It may even be a pattern that we're seeing right here that just eventually goes into full whiteout in the next 5-6 hours. Not sure, but it's very interesting to know and to pay attention to. So I'm going to ask you guys out in YouTube land who are joining us right now, how do you guys feel? What are you feeling differently? What's going on? Hey to G Angelov, up 3, Frequency Revolution, Debbie, Candace, Eve, Karen, Dia, everyone that's joining us there, Justine. How are you guys feeling? High energy, says Gary. And Shy One's saying exhausted. Interesting. Dichotomy right there. Yeah, John, there is a Zoom link. Let me post it. There you go. And anyone's welcome to join us here on Zoom. I highly encourage it, as a matter of fact. Personally, myself, I felt, and it's been this way for a while, the last few days, actually, and which is coinciding with the Schumann resonance that's been going on. I've been having bouts of tiredness myself. I feel great, but I took a nap yesterday for like 3 hours. I think I took like an hour and a half nap today. I went to the beach earlier. No guitar, but I did play bocce ball. I did my walk of gratitude. Got a lot of grounding in, and it felt wonderful. So it was good to be there. Today was probably our last, warm day. I say that relatively speaking. It's going to get cold here in Florida, which should be 60s. I know, I'm a big baby. Yeah, 60s is cold when you've lived here. I consider myself a Floridian, even though I was born in upstate New York. I've lived here long enough to be considered a Floridian. As a matter of fact, when I turn 60 next year, I officially have to call Florida, like all the seniors. I live in Florida. When I was a kid, I lived in Florida, but now I live in Florida. So yeah, that's what's going on. Hey, John, what's happening? Let me unmute you. There you are. You're unmuted, brother.
Hey, Greg.
So how are these energies treating you? How's the Schumann treating you?
Oh, the Schumann. Okay. The Schumann. I love the Schumann. I love keeping track of it. Hold on, I got some feedback here. Okay. Yeah, so I was watching the video that you posted from last night about the spirit chat and going through that, and it was reminded myself that was a really great conversation that we had last night.
Were you able to watch the whole thing? Because when I checked it out just maybe half an hour ago, there was only 2 hours of the 4 hours that was showing up.
Interesting. Yeah, it was only 2 hours that had showed. I didn't get through the whole thing. I think I got through an hour and a half of it. And but it was really, really good conversation that was going on. Remember Sam from last night? He jumped in there and he had some really good things to say. Um, and it started off where the topic was about dreams and everything, and so it was definitely titled correctly. It looked like I felt like you may have threw some editing in there, but I wasn't sure. I don't care. It was still a great conversation last
Oh, no,
night.
no, no. I don't edit those kind of things. No, it's pure, and whatever comes out, that's what you get. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's part of the whole the matrix, if you will, all that editing that they do to us.
yeah.
Um, so you were talking about the Schumann. I just jumped on here. I was trying to get myself set up. I wasn't really in tune. Oh, okay, yeah. Wow. Wow, that's impressive. See, when I look at the Schumann resonance, I don't see it as frequencies. I see it as language, you know. Um and so I always look for patterns when I look at the Schumann resonance. This what I'm looking at right now is crazy. I always look for patterns of three. I don't know why. I'm not going to try to explain why,
So
but
like three little spikes, perhaps, or three, something
what I've
along those
noticed
lines.
what I've noticed with the Schumann is if I look at it in patterns of three, then I can start seeing patterns. And what's going on here right now, what I'm looking at, I'm not seeing any patterns of three. What I'm seeing is like a full blast almost, you know, like if you want to take this there's there's a lot of white area, and if you want to take that and divide it into three as terms of language, um it's almost like a hey hello, let me get your attention. And then now we have this right there at the end of the on the right hand side, you have this big blast coming in. And I have a feeling that what's going to happen, if I could predict just a little bit, what's going to happen is we're going to have three more blasts just like that, but they're going to be similar to this previous um, activity that we're seeing.
Why do you think we'll have those three blasts? I know you're saying that you see things in threes, but what do you think is precipitating that?
Oh wow, that's a good question, Greg. Um, I think that speaking for myself, emotionally, what what I do is usually I turn to the Schumann when something seems off, and I look at it, and then I'm like, oh, well, that explains it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have no idea what's going on, but it always seems to relate. Um, what is going on right now? The only thing, and I don't even really want to bring it up. I don't want to make this a topic, but you do have these impeachment trials that are going on right now in the media, and I think it's all a gag. I don't believe any of it. I don't care what anybody's saying. They,
I
they
agree.
tell us they tell us straight up, this is a hoax. This is a hoax. We're just messing with you
It's a
guys.
show.
Yeah, exactly. It's the world is a stage. We're just trying to keep you guys entertained. That's it. There's nothing to see here. It's a hoax, you know. Um, and I think that but what's actually going on, this is supposed to be earth frequencies. We are children of the earth in our bodies, and people are having emotional responses to this. So which came first, the chicken or the egg? That's something I couldn't answer, but I do believe it's connected, you know.
Yeah, there's something definitely going on, and it has a lot to do with, I believe, um, a combination of human consciousness expanding, as well as I think we're getting a little help from our friends. So I think they're helping to boost the Schumann resonance at a time where it's in turn helping to raise our own consciousness and frequency, because it is a frequency of its own. So if you have that frequency out there, as long as you're not buying into the mainstream media bullshit and lowering your frequency by watching TV and following all that crap that's going on, you have a chance to actually surpass that, tune into these frequencies, especially if you're able to get out and ground and raise your frequencies and tune into that as well.
Mm-hmm. When you're wise to it, and then you start looking at the other things that are going on, and then we have this tool, this Schumann resonance website that everybody keeps going back and looking at. Makes you wonder, is this a divine implant into our matrix so that people like us can confirm ourselves, like, hey, I'm not crazy, something is going on, there's a lot more going on than what we're being told. We're told to be distracted, we're told to be emotional, and we're told to care about this and care about that, and then all of a sudden we start having these things, we start having all these feelings, and we start getting like I don't know, I'm just going to say emotional, right? And then so what do? We turn on the news. Oh, yeah, that's what my feelings are about. It's what the mainstream is saying. Or now we have a choice. We can look at the Schumann. Hey, there's some activity going on around this planet. We need to tune into that and figure out what exactly it is. Not what they're telling us, but what is it truly about?
And tune into In5D on YouTube and Zoom to
Exactly.
figure out what the collective consciousness is actually saying right here, right now.
Exactly.
Right?
It always comes together when people speak from the heart.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of this show, is it's just spontaneous for the most part. I might have a few things laid out to talk around, but I have nothing written about anything that we're going to be talking about. It's all from the heart, spontaneous, and that's what we're getting from everyone that joins us here. Good thing. Like here's one from the heart, spontaneous. This is a sigil glass that I made. And basically the sigil says all of my codons are open. And what I'm drinking right now, this is orange, pomegranate, strawberry, apple, and grape juice. And I put it through my TriBest juicer. And I used it wasn't the finest, I don't know what they call it, a grate. But it was like the next one up. So it gives, for example, it would give you more of a pulp if you were just to do orange juice. It would be more pulpy for orange juice. But I did it with orange juice and apple juice and stuff. So it's kind of like, I use more apples than anything else. So it's kind of like a liquefied applesauce with all these other cool fruits that are in it. So if you like pulpy orange juice, you would love this stuff. This stuff it's delicious. It really is. And it's almost like you take a sip and then you chew the little pieces on it too. So it's yummy.
Well, bottoms up. I need a juicer.
Yeah, normally I drink my water. I got a big thing of water that I have, which I still have here. And I have a backup bottle just in case, because I have run out before. So this is something new too. I took a shower earlier and my friend Liana told me about using coconut oil instead of conditioner. I'm like, okay. And I took the shower, gosh, like 3 hours ago. It looks like my hair's still wet. But that coconut oil just absorbs all the moisture, apparently. And it lays down a lot better, because when I wash my hair with shampoo, it usually poofs out like this. I look like a Carrot Top. But that's why I like putting, something in, some kind of conditioner that holds it down a little. But she told me about this, try using coconut oil. So I did. And it's laying down nice. I like that. Probably looks oily to everyone else, or wet. I don't care. It just feels good. It feels soft and comfortable. Smells great. Smells like coconuts. So give it a shot, especially if you have poofy hair. If you have like curly or poofy hair, try it. And I used like a whole handful. I just stuck my hand. I've got one of those big containers of coconut oil and just stuck my hand right in there because I got like 3 or 4 containers of those at least in the kitchen. So I put one in the bathroom and I said, screw it. I'm just going to use this one for my hair, put it in there after I washed my hair, and we'll see how it goes. I know a lot of people, I don't know from whatever it is we and they are eating, but a lot of people are experiencing hair loss. And it could be from the chemtrails. It could be, I know that when I was doing distilled water, I was losing my hair. And that's when I'm like, no, that's not for me, because I felt like what was happening was because distilled water really has no nutrients, unlike spring water. I felt like it was leaching the nutrients out of my hair. So if anyone's having issues with hair loss that's doing distilled water, that might be your problem. Just want to say real quickly too, if you haven't already, check this out. It's my tie-dye, In5D quantum tie-dye, and you're going to have the most amazing shirts right here. We've had quite a few people that have already bought them, and they've even came on here and told you what you're going to get out of it is this amazing energy. Because I use the sand from Siesta Key Beach. I put that in the dye. I use Ho'oponopono. I put positive thoughts and intentions in it on top of it. Pre-wash the shirts, post-wash the shirts, so, and a lot of energy, a lot of time and effort goes into them, but you're going to see and feel the energy that's in them. So check that out at in5d.net if you haven't already. Also, we have a Patreon page, and you'll be alerted if you're at the 111 page. You'll be alerted for videos like this. When I come on and do a video, you'll know. So if you're not part of In5D Facebook or In5D Twitter, you can be on here. You'll get alerted. You'll know ahead of time, and you'll be able to access those videos as well at that level. At the 555 level, we have this Insiders Club private chat. It's held on Zoom, like what we're doing right here, right now, except it's private, and it's on the first Wednesday of every month. And then at the 1111 level, you get all that, plus the exclusive afterthoughts video and the mid-month energy report, which I give you guys like a small preview of that every month, but you can watch the full show here on Patreon. So just to put that out there. So I'm going to unmute everyone here on Zoom. You're all unmuted. If you want to join in, jump in. Anything you want to talk about, put it out there, or just say hello. You're welcome to do it.
Greg, you were just talking about how you were how you wash your hair and stuff like that. One of the things that I've been teaching my kid, when it comes to self-esteem, right? One of the things that everybody, whether you're a kid or an adult or elderly or whatever, what we need to do is remember ourselves and take care of ourselves, And so one thing that popped in my head when I started teaching my little girl was that, it's not about just taking a bath. It's about taking care of your body. I tell her it's not good enough to just have self-esteem. It's not, it doesn't add up if you just think good of yourself. You have to take care of yourself also. And you have to do that activity to take care of yourself. And I teach her through this, when we take care of ourselves, then we become to feel better about ourselves, and I felt kind of compelled to share that. I'm not sure why. Maybe somebody's listening and needed to hear that, but it's really true. This is how we show our appreciation to the universe, is sometimes it's not enough. Just thought alone is just not enough. It's that active thing that we do when we take care of ourselves, clean our bodies, clean our house, clean our car, whatever it is, that action will transmute into positive energy.
Funny you say that, because with me being the triple Libra, constantly seeking balance, my house is comfortably cluttered. It's not a pigsty. It's not a mess, but it's cluttered. And that's the way I live my life. My bedroom's cluttered. The rest of my living room is cluttered around me. Um, but it's not, like I said, it's not a pigsty. You can walk through the house easily. There's not stuff spread all out. What I wish, though, personally about, getting back to the shower thing, I wish I had well water and that I could shower in unfluoridated water without any other chemicals in it. That would be nice. Because I rent, it's not even like I have that option of putting something on my filter to filter out all the crap that's coming in from the city water here in Sarasota. So, it's a lot of, crappy water, but you just have to put those intentions into the aether while you're showering, saying, hey, this is not going to bother me in any negative way. This water is cleansing and uplifting, and look at the positive aspects of what you're getting out of it.
That's, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's the action and the intention,
Mm-hmm. So there are some topics that I thought, well, this has always been one of my favorite topics, is dream symbols and analogy. If anyone has dreams that they want to talk about, feel free to do so. We can go anywhere with these chats, and that's the beauty of it. But here's an article that I have on In5D. 3 dreams. One was a time traveling creator god manifesting on a UFO mothership, and the memory wipe of what happens before you incarnate. So see if any of these resonate with you guys. The creator gods, plural. I woke up around 3:30 in the morning after having a time travel dream. In this dream, I was in a huge building that seemed like the student union at a State University of New York school where I went to college. I was in beach shorts with no top, just like I am here in Florida, and was walking with a group of girls toward the cafeteria. I realized I couldn't get food without wearing a shirt, and remembered I left a turquoise and brown cutoff tie-dye shirt somewhere in the building, so I started to look for it. I finally found it and walked toward the elevator. There were 6 guys in the elevator when I got in. The elevator had small round portals on each wall. When the doors shut, the elevator went at warp speed to 2 million years ago in a matter of seconds. The elevator didn't move vertically like most elevators. This one was similar to a roller coaster ride without the nauseous feeling, but at warp speed. When the elevator stopped, we got out and went to a meeting where we discussed how to change the history of mankind, beginning with what the first name of mankind would be. It felt like we had the opportunity to go back in time and basically erase parts of history that went awry in order to help expedite the awakening process in our current place in time. Initially, mankind was named after the person who was ultimately responsible for creating mankind, similar to how a comet is named after the person who discovers it. In this case, it was Saint Ange, but the names were malleable, meaning that at a latter point in time, we could change them to something else. It felt like the rest of us were there as co-creators of everything else that would be seated and named on this planet. I don't remember what else was discussed, but we all got back into the elevator and came back to our current time in this incarnation. When we got off the elevator, there was an automatic mind wipe mechanism built into the elevator that clears your memory of anything that happened at these meetings. It worked for everyone except me. The rest of the guys were clueless about what just happened. We were greeted by a large pit boss looking man who asked us about how our trip was. This is when I realized that there was a brain wipe when the rest of the guys had no idea what he was asking. I sarcastically told him, if you don't mind going back 2 million years in a matter of seconds to change history, then I guess it was fine. At this point, I had to go to the bathroom and left everyone I was with. It seemed like I was walking through a huge arcade room with games everywhere, most likely put there to distract everyone who was going on these elevator rides. The room was crowded and there were people playing all sorts of games there. In retrospect, these may have been all been creator gods who were, through metaphor, creating their own versions of mankind throughout the multiverses. This is when I woke up. And of course, I had to pee because I was going to the bathroom. But it's just like one of the time travel dreams that I've had, you know, and probably one of my fascinations of why I do have this fascination with travel dreams and movies, anything that has anything to do with time travel, because I believe it's real. It's what we're doing in our dreams. We're constantly time traveling. We're traveling outside of time in our dreams. So does that does anyone relate to time travel dreams, or, moving forward or back in time, being on UFOs or anything like that? I'm going to
Well, as far
mute
as
the chat
the
room.
mind wipe thing, that's something that I can totally relate to.
Mhm.
Um, and this is what we do to ourselves. We engage in the 3D. We experience it, and sometimes it gets really difficult. And then so we get to the end of our lives, and we need to figure out how to process. How can we ascend into a higher dimension, knowing what we know, knowing what we did? We either accept it or we wipe our minds clean of it. The elevator, the mind wipe machine, um, makes me wonder. I think that to a certain respect, that we're kind of compliant in a sense, where we get to the end of our lives and then we just decide that made so many huge mistakes. Life could have been so much better, and we're so attached to the whole 3D reality. We just want to focus on that, like a crackhead, right? We just want to make it better. I feel like if I could just go back and do it better, I could do it better. But before I can do it better, I need to forget about all that messed up stuff that I just did. And so we comply with the mind wipe. You see, um, in my reality, what I'm learning is I did a lot of messed up stuff, you know, but I don't want to forget it. I want to learn from it, and it sucks. It's humiliating, some of the things that I've done. I'm a post 9/11 combat veteran. I I went with the flow. I was an ignorant flag waving um veteran, and I put myself into a really negative state. I took on demons, and I'm still dealing with those, you know, but I have to keep reminding myself I can't just mind wipe and do it over. I have to keep reminding myself this is the learning experience, you know. It's never going to be perfect, you know. Um, this is what we do to ourselves because we love each other. We love everybody else so much. We want to be good to everybody, you know. And then when we start to realize that you may not be such as good a person as you think you are, and then we start to think, well, if I could just forget that, if I could just forget about that, then I would feel better about myself. And then what we need to learn is that it's not about forgetting; it's about learning. You know, um,
Well, it kind of sucks though that still we have this mind wipe that comes in where we know that we've lived previous lives here, many, many, many previous lives, and that we can't remember any of them. Well, most people can't. I can remember 3 past lives, 2 in Atlantis, 1 during the Spanish Inquisition.
I
But
imagine something like a bear walking through the woods, right?
Mhm.
And this bear, um, he walks through the woods. He finds I don't know what does a bear eat? Salmon, I guess. And the bear
Depends.
goes to the river and starts eating salmon every time of the year. He goes to his cave in the wintertime and he hibernates. He keeps doing it over and over. Now, this bear, what he does, he sees this sapling, this tree. And then he keeps doing his same thing over and over. And then next thing he realizes is this tree is no longer a sapling. It's like a 2,000-year-old oak, you see. And what the bear begins to realize is he's living the same life over and over. He's doing the same things over and over. You know, he's living his best life. You know, this is what humans are missing out on. This is what we should be doing. We should be recognizing, because of patterns of behavior, we should be realizing that we're here no matter what. You know, this is what we come back to, and this is what feeds us in the 3D, and this is what propels us into the 5D. That was a really horrible example, I know.
Well, actually, no, it wasn't, because the bear actually goes through this proverbial death and rebirth. So it's actually a beautiful metaphor.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad you picked up on that, Greg. But yeah, and so when I talk about like mainstream media and stuff like that, you notice how they keep changing it up. They're confusing us. You know, we're living the same life, we're doing the same things, we're eating the same foods, we have this pattern of behavior. We should be comfortable with our patterns of behavior, because that will get us in touch with our higher selves. But when they keep changing it up on us, that's when we start getting confused, and we start focusing deeply on the 3D earth, because we are multidimensional beings. When we put all our focus on the 3D earth, well, that's where we reside. That's where we're at, you know.
Sure, it's the whole vibratory level of anything that is, that you see on the mainstream media, reading the news, magazines, all that crap that keeps us locked into those lower vibratory levels, where, if you have something, where you're with even, like this, with all these like-minded people who are just full of energy and positive vibrations, you're naturally going to have your energy vibration rise just by being with people and hearing all the different voices, and getting the codes from each person who speaks on here. It's a wonderful thing to have right now. And I encourage people to join us on this chat. Don't be shy. I've been posting the link in the YouTube chat room. So join us here, share your codes, share your stories. Just say hi, pop in and say hi. What I'm going to do is unmute everyone right now. If you want to just say hi or whatever it is you want to talk about, you're all unmuted right now.
Well, I just want to say hi to everybody from Hoover. It's getting kind of chilly down here tonight, but it was a nice day today, nice and sunny, and just wanted to say hello to everybody, and that's about it.
Thanks, Gary.
Hi, Greg. My name is Alex. I'm from Aruba.
Hi, Alex.
Pretty hot here today, all these days, but it's good.
I went to Aruba once for my honeymoon.
You went here?
Yeah, for my honeymoon, when my first marriage. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I hear you mention about the codons. I know there's children being born with 2 or more or 4 codons more intact. Now the question was, if all 64 codons are then activated, what are the human capacity then?
Anything. Yeah, you can teleport, you can levitate, you can manifest out of thin air. Once somebody figures out how to turn on all 64 codons in their DNA, I work on that every day. Every time I do my walk of gratitude, as I did today on the beach, it's one of the things I mentioned. When I do it, I say, dear creator, source, universe, spirit guides, guardian angels, friends and family on both sides of the veil, galactic neighbors and friends, higher self, Mother Earth. And what I use is Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry if I don't say this as often as I should. Please forgive me. Thank you for your unconditional love, support, safety, protection, and abundance in everything that's good in life, as I promise to listen with open eyes, ears, mind, and heart. I ask that you turn on all the beneficial codons in my RNA and DNA so I can heal myself and others. And lastly, more than anything, I love you all. So you got the I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, ho'oponopono, and everything that goes into it with my posse. And I encourage people to, create your own posse. Use your own. You feel free to use my posse. I don't care. Add people to it. If you want to put God and Jesus and archangels in there, do it. Make it yours. Own it. That's what I call my posse, and that's what I'm doing, amongst many other things. As I mentioned, this is a sigil glass. This is one of the many things that says all of my codons are open, and it's
nice.
made into sigil form. So even when I'm drinking it, I've got that energy of it. And I put that thought and intention when I have like a glass of water in a sigil glass. I'll put the my ozone diffuser inside the glass, and I'll spin it around clockwise, and I'll say all my codons are open. Then I'll spin it around counterclockwise, and I'll use reversals. Reversals have been used in negative ways, but you can use them in positive ways. So all my codons open reverse is Nipo Eris Nodak Yimpala. So that's what I'll say in reverse while I'm spinning it counterclockwise. Nipo Eris Nodak Yimpala. All my codons are open. And I keep putting it out there to the universe. Allow me, be that person to be that first person to unlock all the beneficial codons in my RNA and DNA so I can heal myself and others and teach others how to do this as well.
Yeah, it would be a domino effect.
Yeah, like the 100th monkey. Exactly. So, and I've got an article on In5D that shows everything that I'm doing. And I encourage people to, try it, experiment with your own things. One of us is going to figure this out. One of us is going to be that 100th monkey. And from that point forward, it's just, you can't be stopped. There's a Star Trek episode called Transfiguration, where this race of beings was on the verge of becoming light bodies, but their government was kind of holding them back and didn't want that to happen because they would no longer be in control, but they ended up becoming light bodies anyway. And there's an article for that, which I'll leave down below on more info section of the video, but it's on In5D. You can find it there. I think it's called like Hidden in Plain Sight, 5D Earth or something like that, Hidden in Plain Sight. But it's an episode on Star Trek that's really telling of where we're heading based on that one civilization that turned into light bodies.
Oh,
where do you think we're heading?
Yeah, I'm sure compared to 10 years ago, I see more people now questioning things, questioning about the government. There's more uprising, people uprise to the government. So there's a big difference compared to 10 years ago and now. So I see, you can say there's going to be a revolution, but of the consciousness. That's the difference. Like the Pluto in Capricorn, I think you also had an article on it. Pluto in Capricorn, where we are now.
Yes, many articles on that.
And in the past that we had also, we were when we were in Pluto in Capricorn, the French Revolution and American Revolution took place
in the 1700s.
It started 2008 and it's going to end 2024, right?
2023. Yep.
Oh, 2023. Okay. Yeah, we're close to it. 3 more years. So let's see.
Yeah, and everything I predicted way back then is coming to fruition right now. Yeah. It's watching the collapse of money, government, and religion. They're all three are collapsing.
Yeah. So it's a lot. I see a lot of things happening, but there's going to be a bright future in the end.
Definitely. It's very, very exciting. As I mentioned on the New Year's Eve show, I made a bunch of predictions, and one of the predictions was that by the end of the year, our planet, as you know it, will be unrecognizable to the way it is today. That's by the end of this year. The huge things are about to happen. And then just 4 days afterwards, Allison Coe had a show with James Gilliland, and she said basically the same exact thing. He asked her, "What have you gotten from your clients recently?" And she said, "Well, I just had my first client of the new year. And my client stated that by the end of the year, you will not recognize the planet as you know it today." Confirmation.
Mother Gaia is shifting to a higher consciousness?
It's a conglomeration. There's a lot of things that are going into it. One of my predictions also is that there are these 148,000 as of right now sealed indictments. They're going to start getting unsealed in June. That's going to change a lot of things. We're going to start seeing suppressed inventions being finally released in humanity's behalf.
Oh, I was waiting a long time for the Vatican to get exposed.
Yeah. That's one of the many things. Also, there's some interesting things that I see that are going to be going on with the royal family. I made some predictions on that. Basically, these predictions, I made most of these predictions on New Year's Eve around the 2 hour and 30-minute marker. So if you want to go and listen to them, feel free to on the New Year's Eve show, fun show that I did with Carrie Sanders. So yeah, good predictions there, and nothing to fear. Absolutely. There never is anything to fear anyway. What's the worst thing that happens? We die. Okay. I've already faced that. I've had a stage 3 cancer. I've been in a car accident. I just had a heart attack. All right. What else you got?
Yeah. You're a survivor. You're not ready. You have more work to do.
Apparently. So, and I feel better than ever right now. A friend of mine did some energy work on me. Darcy, amazing. And her energy finished up the other day, and I just feel fantastic. So I'm just so happy that I was able to get the energy work from her. I feel like a completely new man. I feel like I almost had a walk-in. I think I might have, because I'm eating stuff that I never ate before.
I think maybe you activated a few of the condoms.
Yeah, no, not condoms.
Condoms, sorry, my bad.
Not going to activate condoms, but codons. Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah, one by one at a time. I don't think.
Are they in pair, right? It's in pair.
I'm not sure what keeps them unlocked. I think that was part of the process with the Anunnaki when they created man. They created us, and they specifically took out certain codons that would not allow us to be the gods and goddesses that we're really, truly entitled to be.
Yeah.
So we're going to figure it out. One of us is going to figure it out, and that person's going to share with everyone else. So it's going to be like that 100th monkey effect. Everyone will pick up on it quickly, and there's no stopping it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for jumping in, Alex. I'm going to unmute everyone else in the room. If you want to jump in, you're more than welcome to. We're just having an open chat about whatever you want to talk about. I started talking about dreams. If you have any cool dreams you want to talk about, maybe some futuristic or time travel dreams or whatever you want to talk about, you're free to join in right now.
I'm thinking also there's a lot of information is going to come out of Antarctica.
Why do you say that?
There's a lot of important people in there, and the ice is also melting there, so a lot of things are going to get revealed. I saw pictures that look like pyramid there, and also there has information. They found a castle there, a lot of structure there.
I've heard about that. They said that some people believe that Atlantis is up there. Other people are saying that that's the entrance to Agartha, the inner Earth.
Yeah. But I believe actually in the Hollow Earth, there's a lot of information. A lot of the ancient civilization talk about the Hollow Earth. There's more than one entrance to it. But there's the two main one I heard is the North Pole and South Pole.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting.
Admiral Byrd, when he went up there, he had an expedition to the North Pole, and he said that he saw the entrance to inner Earth, and there were dinosaurs and these prehistoric creatures that were alive, feeding on tropical vegetation up there at that entrance. So apparently that's well heated. It's nothing that you would think that it would be too cold, and more like polar kind of of an environment. But apparently there's, like I said, from what he said, there are these still dinosaurs that are alive up there.
Oh yeah, then they have their own sun. So I don't know how that's work, but I heard also there's mammoth there alive. Mammoth, a lot of creatures there, beautiful plants. They all living as one, and there's
Mhm.
different type of civilization in Earth.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
just want to say I don't particularly subscribe to the whole flat Earth theory,
No, I don't
but
either.
if you look into it, at its core, is what they're doing is they're trying to challenge your beliefs, everything that we're taught about geography and stuff like that, and then, what they're trying to say, if you ignore their agenda, of course, is that there's something else going on. We're missing information. And when we start talking about the North Pole and the South Pole and stuff like that, these are places of major energetic power. There's no telling what is going on over there. Yet we're continuously told these places are inhospitable to human life. They're so hard to visit. They're
You can't
places
visit because they're blocked off by military. I guess it's
exactly,
no fly zones where you can't even go up there and
Yeah, there's
look
no
at it.
fly
exactly.
zone.
It's so obvious that there's something really weird going on. Is it great? Is it bad? I don't know. But one of the things that I really truly believe in is metaphysics and the energies that pass through us and that we see all around us. It's so simple for me to see, probably not so much for other people. And so I live in Texas. We have a great amount of sun, and I feel these energies, and I've been using these energies, and I enjoy these energies, but what happens when, if I was to put myself, let's say, on the exact point of the southern pole where all these energies are either entering or exiting Mother Earth herself, would it be possible? Could I just like show up and just start talking to a deity like in real life, in real time? You see what I'm saying? Like, and if I could, what would she have to say? I think there's a lot more going on than what they're telling. Flat Earth, I don't care about flat Earth. I don't care about any of that stuff. I think there's a huge connection to humankind that we're not being told about, that we're being put into the dark about.
Think about the energy too that goes into the North Pole that's coming in with the Arctic, or the Northern Lights, all that stuff, that cool neon fluorescent energy that's coming into the hole of the flat Earth, not the flat, the North Pole. And I agree with you, though, definitely that the flat Earth is a psyops. You're wasting a lot of time on something that can never be proven. Never.
Well, my,
Well,
my first take on flat Earth, I was like, really? I don't believe in this. And then I started looking into it, and I started realizing the rhetoric about it. It's not about whether or not the earth is flat or round or it looks like a donut. It's all about challenging your beliefs. And that's the only thing I like about the whole flat earth theory is I would say to anybody, if you're not sure, look into it. Look into the flat earth theory. It will make you challenge your beliefs. And
Mhm.
that's based on what we're taught, from Sunday school to what they teach us in public education and what they try to instill on us with the mainstream media and everything else. I don't see anybody challenging any beliefs. It's all about science. It's all about, well, the experts say, so this must be true. Well, what happens when the experts don't have answers? Then you have to start questioning yourself, and you have to decide for yourself, what do you believe in?
Well, who's to say that the experts are right to begin with? A lot of this is
Exactly.
hot air and bullshit. Like
It's
this
all
global
hot air
warming
and bull.
crap that Al Gore was pushing 20, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh, exactly. And there's a lot of people. I have family members who won't even talk to me anymore because because my ideas are so outrageous. I must be a racist or something like that, obviously, because I don't subscribe to what the scientists believe. Vaccinations is one thing. Someone was trying to tell me, well, you just don't understand the science. I was like, well, okay, maybe I don't understand the science, but I do understand statistics. I got like freaking a lot of hours of college courses based on statistics. And when I read the statistics page on scientific reports on immunizations, doesn't add up with what the mainstream is trying to tell us. Just throwing that out there. Nobody wants to do the education for themselves. Most people don't even understand how to do the statistics in order to understand that it's not the truth, basically.
I want to bring Terry aboard. What do you think, Terry, now that you finally have the nerve to show up here and join us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for finally popping in. And
Yeah. Wonders never cease, huh? Yeah. I just think something's gotta happen. Something's gotta happen and wake everybody up a little bit. Yeah, it's been freaking forever. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Nobody wants to talk to me anymore. I mean, like Terry, she's like a little crazy. She's got these ideas. She's like, I'm sorry, but now they're going to see these things. They're seeing these things happen, but still, doesn't there need to be a big shakeup? Something really, something to happen, and then they're going to really question and start asking questions, and I don't know.
Like if one of us
So
turns on all the codons in our DNA and we're able to teleport, you think that would freak them out a little?
freaking awesome. Yeah. It's like, wait. Let's go have lunch in Japan. What? Yeah. Let's just go have lunch in Japan. Promise me. We can do it, right?
Yeah, my daughter's up in New York. I could tell her, honey, I'll be up in 2 minutes.
See, I'm not trying to eat
No,
you.
quicker than 2 minutes.
Just
It's
saying.
speed of thought.
When we start doing that shit, it's gonna be all over, right?
This is prehistory that you're talking about, the stuff that we grew up on, like fairy tales, like especially with like the Hindu stuff. You had all these gods who were benevolent and they were doing things. I think one thing that's in my mind right now is there was this god who convinced a bunch of monkeys to build this bridge to go rescue his wife or something like that, right? And this is what they didn't want to talk about. You've got in prehistory, you have all these ascended masters they've gone through the experience of life and death. They've mastered it. They know what's what. They know how to come back. They know how to do things. They know how to. They have this understanding of this world to the point where they can manifest on the spot and stuff like that. And prehistory is filled with those types of stories. But what they teach us, it's all a fairy tale. Doesn't exist. This is what we're coming to. This is why Greg showed a thing about money on a Facebook page that you had posted, Greg, and now it only had 6 likes, whereas opposed to, I don't know, a year ago or so, it had over 1,000. They don't want us to talk about this. They don't want us to talk about this because once we start recognizing our power, it is going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy at first, but once everybody starts settling into their powers, it's going to be a cohesive, unstoppable force. All we got to do is just sit there and talk about it. Why can't we teleport to Japan? We can. We absolutely can. And
the technologies that are out there that we're not aware of far exceed anything that we can even fathom right now.
I mean, they've been suppressed since the 1900s. It's
longer than that.
Yeah, it's
Tesla's free energy was late 1800s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tesla was a master. He knew he was divine, and he got stomped on hard.
He got ripped off bad.
Unfortunately.
He
Yeah,
wanted
was
he
way
wanted
before
to
his
provide
time.
free energy for the entire world.
What? There's no money in that.
Exactly.
That's what his financier, J.P. Morgan, said. He couldn't figure out a way to put a meter onto the free energy.
Oh, you want to help people for free? How dare you?
How dare you? Right? The catchphrase of 2019. How dare you?
It's gonna be. Feel sorry for that poor girl. She seems like such a happy young child.
Well, look at her parents. She is the product of her parents, and she's just reiterating what they're feeding her, and ultimately George Soros, what he's feeding them.
Yeah, the parents are Antifa members.
Yes.
That says a lot.
Yep. Tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, I'm not going to be happy until we hear, George Soros, Hillary Clinton, and Obama are all they're all freaking going to be going up for charges or hung or,
And you know what? It's not just Democrats, it's Republicans too. We've already seen No Name McCain go bye-bye. And Mitt Romney may as well be Democrat. He's a traitor. George Bush, another traitor. So it's both sides of, and I've said this many times, I'm not Republican, I'm not Democrat. I didn't vote in the last election. The last time I voted was for Ron Paul in 2012. I voted for Hillary. When I was living in New York, I thought, okay, well, she's going to have to do something to show. Eventually, she's going to run for president, and she's going to have to show what she did. And
I used to think I was.
She didn't do anything for New York. She was horrible.
I campaigned for Obama. Seriously, I did.
And we've all been taken to the cleaners.
One thing,
no matter whether you're Republican or Democrat, all of us have bought into the BS and drank the Kool-Aid.
It's all Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
one thing I can say for certain.
See, I'm ready for that council of elders to replace all governments where we vote on them, every week, every month if we want to. And their only job is work in humanity's best interest. And they have to be 100% transparent.
Council of grandmothers.
No, not grandmothers. It has to be both male and female. There has to be a balance.
And grandfathers.
Yes. Yeah. It just council of elders representing all ethnicities, races.
Well, it's always been elders.
Best interest.
We wouldn't.
I would volunteer for that job.
If it weren't for elders down through the ages. I mean, hello. What do you think? They reinvented societies every freaking 50 years? No, I mean, it's always been about elders. Now look what they do with elders. Elders are thrown into old folks' homes and fed a bunch of crap and ignored, and nobody appreciates anything they have to say. It's just bullshit. And then they take all everything they've worked for their entire life. They don't have that nursing home will take all that 50 grand or 100 grand, whatever they got in their bank account, and boom, it's gone in 2 years and you're dead.
Exactly.
It's hard to believe that about 15 years ago, there were still people alive from the 1800s. That's hard to envision, isn't it? Back in 2005, if somebody was born in 1899, that would put them at about 106. And there was certainly there was probably people alive that were even older than that, born from the 1800s. I give my daughter, I always bust on her ass. I don't care how young she thinks she is. She was still born in the 1900s.
One thing, when I lived in Georgia, when I was younger, and I talked to a lot of old timers, one thing that stuck with me was the conversation about the Civil War. Everybody says that it was about slavery, right? But what nobody talks about, it wasn't actually about slavery. Slavery was just a issue that got propagated into it, everybody wanted to free the slaves, the North and the South. It was never about slavery. Everybody was trying to figure out, well, yeah, we agree people should be free. We need to figure out how we can do this without just like opening up the circus gates, if you will. We got to figure out how we're going to figure this out, basically. What had happened, actually, according to the old timers that I spoke to, and they said it was about taxes. It was more about unfair taxes based on the Southerners who were cotton farmers, basically, I guess. You hear about Southern plantations and stuff like that. And the industry was, or the federal government was instilling minimal taxes on the manufacturing industries, which were in the North, but they wanted to instill higher taxes on the South, which was more like plantation style. Because after the cotton gin, they were freaking golden. They didn't even need slaves anymore after the cotton gin was invented, you see. And so at the risk of sounding like a racist, it wasn't really about slavery. It was about the federal government trying to control through unfair taxes, trying to manipulate and pass all these laws. And what had happened was it was after Fort Sumter. After Fort Sumter had happened, which they say, according to history, is what started off the Civil War. Mainstream would say it was because of slavery, but in fact, Emancipation Proclamation happened prior to that, I think, if my history serves me correctly. Anyways, my point is that we're continually, constantly being lied to, constantly being manipulated. All this like Trump impeachment stuff right now, it's going to come out. Give it about 20 years, and everything's going to come out about what actually really happened. For example, the Vietnam War. There was that. Oh Lord.
Gulf of Tonkin.
Gulf of Tonkin. Yes, exactly. That's what drug us into the Vietnam War. We need to go there. We need to instill freedom on these people. If we have to beat it into them, turns out it was a little fake. There was this other ship during World War II, I think it was, or was it World War One? I don't remember. Basically, it was
World War II. Pearl Harbor was a false flag. They were warned ahead of time, and
they allowed it to happen. They allowed it to happen. They wanted to get into the war. They knew the people weren't going to go for it, so they had to give the people an excuse. And it's just been over and over, and that's as far back as I can go. If I wanted to go back further, I don't have any solid evidence to present, but from what I've heard, based on the Native Americans, they had advanced civilized societies. They had cities. They had millions and millions of people living in cities and just doing trade and stuff like that. What we're seeing on Hollywood when they talk about Indians is not actually what was there. The only thing that was different between the Native Americans and the Europeans was the weapons. They came in, they cleansed it out, they convinced the people that they're savages. They don't pray to this certain gods, so they're not worth saving. Let's just go in there, let's just go clean them out. We'll just kill them all and we'll take over the land, and that's how they get away with it. That's how they continually get away with it. Look what's going on with Iran right now. They keep trying to tell us that, Iran is so bad. It's such a horrible place and stuff like that. But I think it was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, there was some kids from Iran. They made this music video and they were singing like, we're happy, we're good. Don't worry about us, basically, like we like our lives and stuff, and they got shut down. They actually got scolded by the Iranian government. You can't talk about it. That's too Western, or something like that, and so it's both parties. playing us against each other. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. They don't care about peace. They're constantly playing us against each other. They want us to hate each other. They want us to dehumanize each other, and they want us to kill, basically. That was probably a rant, but
Well, honestly, slavery never ended anyway. We're all still economic slaves to a broken currency system, fiat currency system. So,
well, that's 100% truth, Greg. That's why I would rather be homeless than probably
and
working another
the
job.
hot air and bullshit can go back a lot further than that. I can take it all the way back to the 10 Commandments, which are hot air and bullshit, that were stolen from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, where there's actually, like, I don't know how many, like 40 some odd commandments there, or, not commandments, they phrase it differently. But and they just reworded these Moses reworded these commandments, whittled it down to 10, but they were stolen and plagiarized from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. So, once again, Bible BS.
No, you're absolutely right. It's this is what's going to happen, Greg. We're gonna sit around and we're going to talk, and we're going to start figuring things out. And then what's going to happen is there's going to be some people with a lot of money, and they're going to try to jump in here, and they're going to try to say, well, how can I take a lead on this? How can I gain that, take control of that power that just happened, right? And they're going to lead it with their propaganda. They have media, they have YouTube, they have Facebook, they have everything on us. The only thing that they don't have on us is the truth, and it's going to take a lot of us just speaking our truth.
They don't have our will.
And it's so easy to, if I was an idiot, I used to be an idiot. I used to be dumb, and I would just go with whatever it would tell me because I didn't know any better. I didn't know how to do research or anything like that. I didn't know what truth was until truth slapped me in the face. And then, oh crap, I'm living my life wrong. I got to figure this out. When it starts, this is what's going to happen. It's right there in front of our faces right now with this whole impeachment process. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to get slapped in the face with some serious truth. They're either going to ignore it or they're going to accept it and adjust themselves, and that's the free will of it. Will their life get easier? Will it get harder? I don't know. Hopefully they just decide to be better, more informed people. That's my prayer for the whole situation that's going on right now.
This movie right here, Zeitgeist, was one of the movies that really opened my eyes to a lot of things, especially to religion and how it's basically astrotheology. Jordan Maxwell. There's a lot of influences I've had, but Michael Tessarian. But Zeitgeist was the first introduction I had to the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and what they said. And as far as the 10 Commandments, they're taken outright from spell 125 of the Egyptian Book of the Dead. What the Book of the Dead phrased, "I have not stolen," became "Thou shalt not steal." "I have not killed" became "Thou shalt not kill." "I have not told lies" became "Thou shalt not bear false witnesses," and so forth. So it goes to show you that Moses was either a plagiarizer of other people's content, or that it was all hot air and bullshit stolen in order to keep us living in subservience, control, and conformity under the Bible. It is a beautiful book, though. I will admit it's written in perfect astrotheology. It's genius. There's so many wonderful parts in there. There are amazing, stories that are told, good morals that are in there. my mother, I would tell my mother though, my mother says, well, our church does a lot of good things for the community. I said, why do you have to go to church to do good things for other people? I don't know. Why do you need, a book to teach morals? Why can't you just be moral? Why do you have to give your power away to other beings or entities instead of keeping it for yourself? A lot of questions.
That's one thing. I have to go right now, but one thing I want to leave you with, Greg, and for all your listeners, is the whole thing about the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Something I've experienced myself. I kept having this reoccurring dream about this animal that kept trying to kill me for some reason, and it never made sense until I bought this book about the Egyptian religion and stuff like that. And then when I saw, I think it was Amut, that crocodile, half hyena, half something looking creature or something like that, well, he kept coming after me, and he kept coming after me. And I think the first couple times he got me. Second couple of times I started realizing that, he's not really that bad of a guy. He's going to come after me whether I like it or not. But if I stand with truth and I stand with honesty, I can always defeat him in that light. And then another thing in the Egyptian Book of the Dead is your heart is weighed against the weight of a feather. How lighthearted are you? How much sin do you hold against yourself? You see, and that's one of the things that I've come to understand is that, self-forgiveness is really important. We've all makes mistakes. Learning to recognize that we may have been misled. We may be brainwashed. It's an ego trip. You have to destroy your ego first and foremost before you can start to realize that. But once you start getting past that destruction of your own ego, then you can start facing these monumental tasks that we have to do in order to find a way just to even think about navigating in a fifth dimensional world. It's so complex, but it's so easy. Bottom line, it's all about you. It's just you. I've got some light work I need to do. My friend's calling on me. Greg, namaste. Y'all have a good evening.
Thanks for joining us, John. So I'm going to unmute once again everyone that's here on Zoom. I'm going to post the link on YouTube as well. So if anyone wants to jump in, say anything, even if it's just to say hi, mics are open.
Greg, I have a question. Have you ever tried ayahuasca or mushroom?
Ayahuasca, no. Mushrooms, yes.
Nice.
And yes, I love them. Hate to say it, hate to admit it. I'm not recommending them, but yeah, I love them.
No, I saw that there, when people took a mushroom with the, I think, neural cords on their brain, they created new pathways. And then you get new vision, new ideas, be more creative.
Yes.
Very
yes.
helpful. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I was just listening to a documentary on psychedelics and today, and it's so amazing what is happening now with mushrooms and LSD, and I mean, it's really going mainstream and global. It's pretty fascinating. I woke up on mushrooms in jail.
Really? What happened there? There's a good story behind this one.
Yeah, I had dealt with my husband getting sick, spending months in the hospital, dying, and I'm finally going back out and having fun and dating, and I'm at a music fest, And I knew you weren't supposed to have beers down at the stage, but I had one in my purse. And I was skipping down to the stage, it's like, and all of a sudden I heard, "Hey, stop her." And the next thing I knew, they had thrown me in a cop car, and my stupid date had thrown the mushrooms in my purse. And so, $2,500 later, they're parading me around town. Oh yeah, 55 mushrooms. And it's like, it was just the most excruciating experience of my life, sitting all night long in this jail cell. And then all of a sudden I just got out and I went, my friends picked me up in the morning and I'm sitting at their house going, "You guys, there is absolutely not one single thing about our existence that's real. All of it is bullshit. Courts, religion, schools, every facet of society, there's not one that's not right." And they're just looking at me like I'm freaking crazy. And they still are looking at me like I'm freaking crazy. So,
Right. Well, you are.
But
But then again, we all are. You're not alone. You're in good company with us.
yeah, really. At least I get somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So I found this interesting. This is a picture I posted on Facebook. It's Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus. They look identical, don't they? And then when you do a cross picture of them and put the other cross picture on top, it's eerily similar.
They are freaking clones.
Yeah.
Created people. Poor things. Oh.
Pretty interesting, though.
Remember on Saturday Night Live, I guess, gosh, it's been 10 years ago now, but at one point, Miley Cyrus was famous for her impersonation of Justin Bieber. I mean, and she had it spot on. Sometimes you couldn't tell which was which. So, yeah, it is pretty freaky.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I haven't really watched Saturday Night Live since the late 70s. Back with the original cast.
I quit watching it like in the 90s and 2010. It started getting a little lame. Nothing like the old days.
Right.
When I was a kid, Saturday Night Live was funny.
It was. It wasn't all political like it is now. It's almost pathetic. It's almost a sad show, like the Daily Show has become pretty pathetic as well. Good reasons not to watch TV anymore. What I do though, what I'll do is I'll DVD or DVR the David Spade Show, because I'll watch that. And unfortunately, when you DVR that, you catch the end of the Daily Show, and you hear and watch all this liberal BS that they're putting out on there, and it's no wonder that people are brainwashed because they believe all this crap that they're putting out on TV.
Well, people are too lazy to actually research and find out what the truth is. They'll just get their news from the comedy shows because it's easy.
Sure.
And it's fun.
Everybody tries to express complex ideas in 140 characters now. You just can't do it,
Right. Yeah. It's ridiculous. But
I mean, comedians now, they have to be really careful or their career can be over overnight, I mean, and it's just because I think they're just trying to find reasons to be offended now, instead of just learning how to get along with each other. So, but that's part of the shift that's happening. That's part of the shift that's happening, is that more and more people are waking up to what's going on, that we're not going to believe this anymore. I keep thinking of Tommy. We're not going to take it. We're not going to take it. I mean, it's just
we're just not going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, well, also that too. I saw those guys live once in Bremen, Germany. It was awesome. Twisted Sister. Anyway, Be quiet, Gary. You're dating yourself.
was watching a video today on Facebook, and this guy is interviewing this woman who is just like bashing Trump, and he said, well, can you name one thing, one reason why he should be impeached? And she couldn't, but she's just reiterating all the talking points that the mainstream media says. Oh, he's a misogynist, he's this and that, sexist, and pussy grabber, whatever, all this stuff.
Well, I think he's a sign of the times. I mean, the reason he got elected was to shake things up, and that's kind of what's happening now. People are realizing that we've got to kind of take another look at what the government tells us, because 9 times out of 10 it's not true.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's out there that is literally unbelievable. Anything that's put out by the mainstream media, literally unbelievable.
That's why my television consumption now tends to be like the Three Stooges DVDs and old movies on TCM back in the 40s and 50s, when everybody, they were probably still corrupt in Hollywood, but at least they're not still around. I mean, they're all gone, so their corruption's all in the past now, but not like what it is today.
I try to stick to either metaphysical shows, movies, or comedies, stuff that's gonna make my world better.
Well, I do
knowing
watch a lot of
some of these
guys.
people are complete F-tards, like Jim
Yeah.
Carrey. He's probably in that pedophile group of A-list actors.
Yeah, he was awakened there for a little bit, then he slipped back into the fold, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same way. I mean, I watch a lot of Gaia TV because it's a lot of metaphysical, a lot of yoga, a lot of meditation, and I find a lot of really interesting topics like the secret space program and things like that.
There was that one thing that was going around a couple of years ago or so about the owner of Gaia being like a Satanist or something like that. But if you look at some of the programs that are on there, they have nothing to do with Satanism, and you wonder if that was just a psyops to get
I think it was
away.
psyops. I mean, I've never seen anything that wasn't spiritual on there.
Right.
I mean, but then again, they'll do anything to keep us from waking up and talking and connecting with each other. So
yeah, originally I started watching Gaia for Corey Good, and after like, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 shows of that, I found it hard to believe, honestly. A lot of the stuff that he was saying, no proof whatsoever of anything, and I'd like to believe it, the blue avians and everything, but kind of on the fence.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I buy into it totally. That's the kind of thing that it makes you go sometimes, and like the triangular spaceships that are being sighted all over the world, the triangle platforms that have lights all the way around the bottom and stuff like that. I mean, supposedly those kind of things were part of the secret space program, but who knows, but
there's a patent that came out. It's called TR3B. It's triangle shape. There's a picture of it. The people spotted it in Belgium in the 1990s, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah, I believe you're right, Alex. I think that's the one I mentioned. Yeah, but it's like the powers that be don't want to give up power, so they're going to do everything they can to hold on to it, even though I think it's all starting to slip away. Like the darkness has been exposed now by the light, and once you get the light out and it's on, you can't scurry behind anything because there's nothing to hide behind. So I think things are gonna, it's going to be a very interesting year.
I gotta say though, one thing in Corey's defense, I have this software that can tell basically whether somebody's lying or not based on their voice. You can get clips of the person talking about stuff that is true, like where are you
voice
from?
analysis. Yeah.
And then there's certain things, inflections within your voice. If you're lying, it'll alert you, if this is true or not. And so I used that on Corey, and he believes what he's saying back then, you know, when actually had an interview with him on In5D, but he believes what he's saying, which doesn't mean it's still the truth. I mean, he could be brainwashed. My lab person, who knows what's coming out of there, if that part's true at all. But he does believe at least what he's saying, but yeah, I still have a hard time with a lot of it. And I'm not going to badmouth him. I think, he's doing what he's got to do and he's putting his stuff out there. I just haven't followed what he's doing. And, there's other people in this genre that all of a sudden appear out of nowhere and they have like, 300,000-400,000 followers like that. You got to wonder, what's going on? How did they do that? I've got 400,000 followers, but I've been doing this since 2008. It's not overnight that I got them.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, disinformation has always been one of the big cards that they play. I mean, like Mark Twain said, what was it? A rumor travels all around the world before a truth gets its pants on, that kind of thing. Or a lie travels around the world before the truth gets its pants on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Words,
I've heard, bad news goes to 15, good news goes to 7. Similar statement.
But looking at the I saw earlier the Schumann resonance charts, and I've been having, it's like every time I look at that now, it confirms that, oh yeah, these weird things that have been happening to me today, that's what, that's kind of a confirmation that there's something going on, because these energies coming in, I feel like I've had the flu now for about 2 months, and hopefully someday I'll get better.
For those of you who were not tuned in earlier on the show, I put a screenshot of the Schumann resonance and I just refreshed the page, and you can see this is what happened when we came on. It was like right here. We went through another period of intense energy, and it looks like it's starting to tail off a little right now. But you can see we've gone through nearly 3 days of pretty intense energies that have been going on. So, let us know how you're feeling, what you're picking up from these energies that are going on, and, we're seeing still these lines that are in there. Earth's base is right there. There's 16, there's 24, 32. It's really interesting to see what's going on here. So let us know what you guys are thinking or feeling.
I've been processing a lot of past regrets, I guess is what I'm saying. That the big thing for me, I keep saying, is that, learning to forgive myself for just not being aware of what it was that maybe I needed to do at the time with incomplete information, that kind of thing. And looking back now, looking back at the patterns and everything, I can see that everything that ever happened actually had to happen for me to get to where I am right now today. So, it's like the old saying, nothing happens by accident. And, I think learning to forgive myself and learning to, self-worth, self-love, that's a really important thing. At least it's been for me the last couple of weeks, for sure.
Seems like a lot of people have gone through multiple dark nights of the soul. You go through one. I went through one back in 2008. Broke up with my girlfriend. My dog died. My ex-wife moved back to New York with my daughter. And it felt like my world was crumbling down. Then last year, broke up with the cycle goes around. Girlfriend and I broke up. Dog died. Same kind of heart attack.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah. So seeing cycles that are going on though. But honestly, this is a new year and I feel better than ever right now. So everything, like you said, and many of us agree with, everything has to happen. The benefit of the heart attack was to, get me off of smoking cigarettes, eating healthy, juicing, and never felt better, honestly.
Nice. I smoke ganja. We
No,
okay.
don't even do that.
Okay.
Well,
Although I might do
although-
salvia divinorum if it was in front of me and it was in a state where it's legal.
Well, one thing that has always struck me is also reading a lot of literature is that, you know, things like LSD use, things like DMT, things like ganja, things like marijuana can actually kind of lead you to kind of awakening a little bit. At least it helps you get your mind in the right place where you realize that you're part of a big symphony going on, a symphony of the universe, and not just a separate person separate from everybody else. So at least it helped me in a certain way. So I'll just go out and throw that out there.
I know that they did a test with a group of soldiers with LSD. And what I understand, 90 to 90% of the soldiers that tried it quit military on that day.
Wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it. I used, you know, I'm ex-military. I used to be hoorah kind of guy, but you know, yeah, once your mind shifts, you can't go back to that. You can't go back to that.
On YouTube, Julie Kilbride was saying, "Whoops, I just kind of lost it. It went by me." Level 60 is the new 40. Greg, welcome to level 60. I'm not sure what level 60 is. Because I was looking back, I was thinking, well, maybe she's talking about the Schumann resonance, but there's no 60 on there. It goes up to 40, unless she's talking that there is something beyond that, maybe that would be like maybe here.
Is this
Oh, okay. She's talking about my age. Okay, it wasn't the Schumann resonance. Thank you for clarifying that.
how high was it? The Schumann resonance? Was it this week?
What I was just showing is today, right now, the most recent one as of this minute right now. Just do a quick refresh. It should be identical. Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. You can see that when we started, started at 7 and it was right about here. So we made it through a little portion of this whiteout right here on the Schumann during the show. And now it looks like it's going back to one of these things, kind of similar to maybe right here where it's going to re-ramp again. But what we are seeing are lots of patterns going on and cycles that are repeating. It's almost as if, who was it? Terence McKenna said that time was spiraling towards the singularity and getting quicker and quicker and faster. So we're seeing these cycles speeding up and going faster and faster. And it's correlating to how we feel like time is speeding up as well. So we're feeling all this at the same time. In Lungold believes that it's not time that's speeding up, but it's our consciousness that's speeding up. And it could be both, honestly. What do you guys think?
I remember earlier, I believe John was talking about, when we suddenly get thrust into a 5D world, are we going to be ready? But I think we will, because I think the process to get us there will incorporate this transformation, this brilliant white light, the white flash that everybody's talking about. I think we're going to get automatically upgraded to where we need to be able to experience the 5D Earth and to thrive there myself.
Well, as I mentioned, what I felt with the event, when you feel that unconditional love to that magnitude of 1,000,000 times more than anything you've ever loved here in 3D Earth, yeah, there's no worry about anyone possibly doing anything nefarious with thoughts becoming manifestations. When you're bathing in that kind of love, you don't even feel like manifesting, honestly. You just want to be in that love and just bathe in it.
Yes.
It's so freaking amazing. But I did feel, though, that at that point, I could create anything I wanted to at that moment, but I didn't feel like creating anything. I was just so in awe of that magnitude of love that we're all going to feel when the event happens.
Nice.
on YouTube. Mark is saying, UFO Mark is saying, Happy New Moon and
yeah.
Lunar New Year. Yes. Yes. Happy
Oh,
New
the
Moon.
high pitch, the high with the Schumann resonance correlated with the new moon energy.
Could be. Could be.
That's
I'm not
very
sure.
true.
I'm not sure. I think there is a correlation, though, with what were people saying? Was it earthquakes? There was some kind of correlation with the Schumann resonance. Oh, lightning. It was lightning strikes. The more lightning strikes there are around the world, the more activity there is on the Schumann resonance.
Hmm.
Interesting correlation. I live in the lightning capital of the world, the lightning, state of the world. And basically, Florida, we have more lightning strikes here than anywhere else on the planet.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the summertime, there's always these late afternoon showers and thunderstorms that go on. We always, lots of, as a matter of fact, the hockey team in Tampa is called the Tampa Bay Lightning. Right? So
Yeah, that's a cool name.
it's interesting too, from what I've heard, is that a lot of UFOs will hang out around lightning storms. I don't know what they're doing, if they're perhaps absorbing the energy as fuel.
That's a
Not sure.
possibility. I understand also on the 33 latitude line, there's
Yeah.
also a lot of activities,
What kind of activity?
UFO activities on the
Okay.
line that cross into America on the 33 latitude line. I don't know why the number 33. I know a lot of the Masons use the 33, but it has some energy to it.
Isn't that close to the Nazca lines too?
Oh, the Nazca lines is in the equator.
I think they might be on that. I mean, I remember hearing about that, and to me that's like proof of the ancient astronaut theory, because I mean the only way you can tell what those things are in the desert is from like a height of 5,000 feet. So how did they draw them if they couldn't see what they were doing somehow? Maybe a big UFO just put a sketch on the ground and they just covered it with rocks or something. I don't know, but that's always been interesting to me.
Yeah, with the Machu Picchu, what I understand that the people there, well, there's two theories. One, they ascended, and the other is that they went inner Earth. So.
Well, I'm looking, and I just found this. This is the 33rd degree
33
parallel line.
Yeah.
Going through the United States.
Yeah.
So you have Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. Looks like Arkansas, Louisiana border, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina.
Yeah. There's a high activity.
Okay, I was confused. It wasn't the Nazca lines there, but that's kind of freaky because it passes right through where I am.
I know there's a ranch. I think it's called Stardust Ranch. It's in Arizona, and that ranch is highly active. It's also on that line.
Oh yeah, there's a show on I think it's Discovery, something about Alien Highway, and they just basically show a lot of UFOs basically igniting and taking off from this one area in the Southwest United States.
Well, the 33 parallel could be the UFO highway.
Could very well.
Maybe there's portals in and out on that, all around the world. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It crosses through Sedona, Arizona. Sedona is also known for high energy place.
Oh yeah, Sedona is a very powerful place, I've heard.
It is. It's beautiful. There's a place there called Boynton Canyon that I went off the beaten trail and found this little mesa. I walked up the hill and it flattens out, and the hair on my arms and the back of my neck, all the hair on my body felt like it was standing straight up, but it was off the beaten path. It's as if the Kundalini kind of moved a little there, because I went to all the vortices there, but this was off the beaten path. I just felt drawn to pull over and park and go up this one little hill, and there it was. I'll never forget that place. I want to go back there and see if that energy is still there, but it's in Boynton Canyon in Sedona. did see UFOs there as well.
Yeah, probably. I heard there's vortexes there. Vortex, a lot of vortex. So it will be a cool place to visit.
Hey, welcome back, Phil.
Hi. Yeah, you guys didn't mention Skinwalker's Ranch there. It's, I think, on the 33rd too.
Oh, Skinwalker Ranch is also on the 33.
Well, it's down in that general area, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on there for sure.
Oh yeah, I heard a lot of stories of that ranch.
Shaiwan on YouTube is saying Boynton Canyon is great to hike. Would always hike that when going there. Yeah, there's that big wall that you see there too, right behind. I don't know what that is. It's part of Boynton Canyon. Oh, also another really cool thing that happened there in Boynton Canyon. I was there with a friend of mine, and we were just, exploring all of the canyons. But we spent a lot of time at Boynton Canyon when I pulled over to the road and went to that one spot. Anyway, the trees there, these juniper trees, they look like if you were to take a wet washcloth and wring it out, it spiraled like that. The energy there will do that to the tree limbs. So I was just taking pictures of various tree limbs and scenery out there. I get back to the hotel that evening and I'm uploading the pictures. In one of the pictures I took of this juniper tree, you can see an orb. Inside the orb, you can see a face. Now, the legend of Boynton Canyon says that there was this woman who was placed in a basket, and she ended up going down the river that was there at the time. And she ended up in Boynton Canyon. And her name was, I believe, Kamwitakapia. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation, but I found a picture of her, and the face inside the orb looks like her. So that was a really cool thing that happened to me while I was at Boynton Canyon. And maybe that's the energy that I felt that made the hair on my arms stand up. Maybe that was her energy. And what's really interesting too is that when I met my spirit guide in a dream, she looks similar to this woman, Kamwitakapia. The black hair, white flowing gown, American Indian. Indian. I'm not sure if she's American or not, but that was my spirit guide too. So maybe, just maybe, that's why I was drawn to go there. But highly recommend Boynton Canyon. If you're gonna go out to Sedona, that's the place to go. And don't be afraid to go off the beaten path. Everyone's gonna go to the main spots at all these vortices that they have. They have 7 different vortices there. Everyone's going to go to the main spots. But if you're just driving and you're just feeling compelled to stop and pull over and go explore one particular area, listen to your higher self, pull over, do that, go there and see what you find. You never know what you're going to run into.
Yeah, not me anymore. I don't get to drive. I'd have to walk around. So yeah, it's a little different. You want to go to Sedona? That seems like a cool spot to go.
Yeah, Sedona. Yeah, that's on the list to visit. Also, Mount Shasta. I heard the Earth root chakra is at Mount Shasta.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. And I did a ceremony there and left some crystals, and I use it as one of my nodal points in my grid work. So,
oh yeah,
I haven't hit many of the, and I've hit the one down in Lake Titicaca in Peru too.
Oh, that's the other. 2. So yeah, that's the other chakra of Earth. I think that's the sacral chakra. Is at Lake Titicaca.
Yeah, sacral. I believe you're right. Sacral chakra. And Maui, I think, is another one. The Himalayas. Giza, and Glastonbury.
Yes, Glastonbury. The third and the heart chakra is the third eye chakra.
If you go onto YouTube you can find some videos on there that are taking forever to upload. Apparently, they don't want us watching these videos apparently, but here's one. It's just a Mount Shasta cloud meditation where you'll see the clouds rolling in, and I took this back in 2013 when I was out there at Mount Shasta. It's a 30-minute meditation video. So you can just meditate to it, listen to the music, watch the clouds roll in, feel the energy of it. It's a beautiful video. And here's one of just, where I'm driving through and I'm going up there and just kind of explaining what I'm seeing. But it's cool because you start out and it's sunny and it's, at least the time of the year that I went in September, it was beautiful day. And then when you get further up, there's snow on the ground. So pretty cool. Anyway, that's on the In5D YouTube channel. Just type in Shasta In5D on YouTube and you'll find those videos. Cool stuff to meditate though to the Mount Shasta energy. I ended up getting some rocks when I was there, and as I was mentioning in yesterday's video, the spirit chat that we had, it would be cool to put some of those rocks inside of the dye bottle that I have, along with the siesta key sand and perhaps a red, like a garnet, some kind of red rock to get that energy as well, and to do a Mount Shasta shirt with the Mount Shasta root chakra energies, and to do a tie-dye shirt with all those energies going on. And I thought that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool shirt.
And even the shirt itself would be red. Predominantly, it might be red and black or red and blue or something like that. But a root chakra shirt, just a good shirt to ground yourself in.
Maybe you can make for each color, for each where the chakra.
Each chakra. Yeah, I've always thought I'd love to have stones from each one of the Earth's chakra centers. If anyone is listening right now that lives in one of those, contact me, or near one of those places that you can send me. They only have to be like little tiny pebbles and stuff like that, because it still has that energy. It'd be great to put that into the dye bottles and be able to transfer that energy into tie-dye shirts. And wow, could have the whole Earth, all of Earth's chakras covered on tie-dye shirts. That'd be just friggin' amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Whatever you're feeling that particular day, whichever chakra, just wear that shirt.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. Yeah, maybe people hear of those places. You never know.
So I'm going to unmute everyone that's here once again. If anyone wants to jump in that hasn't spoken yet, you're more than welcome to. And of course, if you have already spoken, you keep talking as well.
Hey, Greg, it's Julia.
Hi, Julia.
How are you?
I'm good. Feeling great, actually. Yeah. How are you doing?
Fine. I wanted to chime in about the crystals from various places. I've been listening to you and rearranging my crystal display table, but I just received some crystals that were Atlantean crystals from Arkansas, and I've ordered but not received some Atlantean crystals from the state of Minas Gerais in Brazil. And both of those places are where some of the, I think they're called master crystals from Atlantis, were moved prior to the fall of Atlantis. And apparently they're big crystal farms in Arkansas, or were the major Atlantean crystal farms were Arkansas and this place in Brazil. So I don't have one from every chakra around the earth, but what you were saying reminded me of why I had ordered the crystals from Minas Gerais as well as Arkansas. And it's a similar idea of what you were talking about, but apparently these two locations are still deeply connected and have a lot to do with the grid work that's going on. They're still very connected because of these master crystals that were moved there at the fall of Atlantis. But I'm really excited. I just bought my largest crystal yet. I mean, I've had geodes and things like that, but this one is so awesome because it fits in both my hands. It's about 6 inches long, and I love it so much. It's so exciting. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that because y'all were talking about crystals, and I'm just rearranging my crystals and finding a new tray and all of that. So anyway, fun with crystals tonight. That's all.
Thanks, Julia. There's some pictures I just want to show people that, could you imagine being around crystals like this that are just huge in these underground caves? Look at that. Could you imagine meditating in something like that? It's just
almost
amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I imagine all the energy that's going on right there. Yeah, I would love to meditate there. Probably never want to leave.
I wonder does it say where that one was taken?
I'm not sure. I can't read what it says up on top here. All I did was type in crystals underground, because I've seen some really, really huge underground crystals where this one person's riding one. He's just sitting on it like, go get him, cowboy, that kind of thing. But it was just, huge. It's amazing how many crystals there are like that are just, you couldn't put them in your home. They're just so big. And I don't think I'd want to displace something like that anyway.
Well, that's a protected site anyway. And it's, I think the temperature runs about 140 degrees in that cave. So it's not a really great place to be meditating. You might be thinking about other things. I'm just saying.
Well, you got to bring a portable air conditioner, apparently.
Yeah, that's what those suits are for, is to keep you cool.
Well, I didn't know that it got that hot there. I guess that's what created the crystals, the heat, the compression. Yeah.
It's just the right environment for growing them. So let's try to introduce my friend here. This is
that's
Rosie.
Cool. Yeah. What's your friend's name?
Rosie.
Okay. That's obviously rose quartz.
Yes. Yeah.
Where'd you get that?
At the Earthkeepers Atlantis conference this last year.
That must have been pretty expensive.
It was, it hurt a little, the pocketbook a little bit. Yeah. Not sure I'm going to be able to go there next year. But yeah, no, it's a great crystal. And I set it up next to Max, the one of the apparently verified crystal skulls of the ancient crystal skulls.
Right.
So she's supposedly charged up with that energy, and I can't say that we've talked a whole lot though.
No, she doesn't give you messages or communicate with you?
Well, I haven't really sat with her that long, actually, when I think about it. So we might do that later on tonight, just to see what happens.
Yeah. That's cool. I have a couple like really tiny crystal skulls, just little ones. They don't talk. They just hang out on I've got a little meditation altar over here, and they just hang out and meditate with me.
Right. Well, and when I think about it, Max didn't really talk to me either. But he talked to the other lady, so maybe I just didn't have the ears to hear.
Well, you know what? Everyone's got their own abilities. That's not one of my abilities, to communicate with gemstones. Although I've had some really cool dreams about them, having those abilities, and maybe innately we all have those abilities, but it's just not anything I've fine-tuned at this point in time.
Well, of all my clairsenses, I would say a clairsentience is the feeling. You know, I can feel stuff. I can feel the energy in her. I can feel the energy in this crystal. I feel, yeah, so I can feel it, but no verbal words coming from them.
You know, and that's probably the first thing that attracts us to any given gemstone is that energy that it's putting out. Sometimes I'll see a ring, like especially an opal ring, which is my birthstone, but there's many different kinds of opals and many different colors of opals. And people think that it's just the clear or the white translucent one, but there's many different ones. And I'll see a specific ring. It might not even be an opal. Maybe it's, you know, moldavite or whatever. But I'll see a certain ring or a certain gemstone, and I just feel like I don't know why, but I have to have this. You know, and sometimes, like with what you probably paid for that crystal skull, you know, we pay a lot of money for something because it is calling us to have it. It needs to be with us for some whatever reason, and we end up getting them.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure she's going to help me in my healing work when I get her, whenever I get around. Find somebody that is willing to heal. It's yeah, that's all I really want to do anymore. You know, I spent my 30 years working at that career, and now I'm going to spend, you know, the next 30 years doing what I want to do, which is heal myself, heal others. I'm here to help.
See, I wish I had a place that was a little bit bigger than what I have, or maybe I just need to get rid of stuff. I don't know. But I do have a copper pyramid that I want to set up and meditate under. I've got a guest bedroom. I should just push the bed maybe up against the wall. Maybe move the box spring somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe push that up against the other wall and just turn that into a meditation room, maybe a meditation music room. But I really missed meditating under that copper pyramid. My German Shepherd would go under that, hang out, fall asleep often under the pyramid. Animals know there's that energy that these pyramids have.
Right.
And you look no further than the animals.
Yeah, the animals know.
Mm-hmm.
And we can know too, because aren't we animals?
Well, they seem to sense it more innately than humans, apparently. I mean, why would a German Shepherd just, you know, of all the places to lay down in the house, lay down square in the center of this pyramid? There's a picture online. If I can find it, I'll show it. But there's a picture online of a deer under a pyramid. Somebody put up their pyramid in a backyard. And apparently the deer found its way to the pyramid, sensed the energy, and went and just laid down under the, here it is. All right, let me screen share.
Well, I mean, animals are still connected to source all the time. Unlike us, you know, we've been taught that we're separate. You know, we're taught that we're separate from God. You know, but they're not. They know, and I mean, they sense all the energies. You know, they live every moment in the now, like we're trying to. You know, I mean, I learned a lot from my two cats just observing how they are. You know, they're just here, they're enjoying their lives, and they're living everything to the fullest in the now. So, you know.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That is really cool.
This pyramid is very similar. It's almost identical to the one I have. It's the same angle. It's that 51 point whatever degree angle. You know, you got the capstone there. It's looks like it's the same size. Looks like 6 feet or so. You know, this way, but that deer is like, hey, there's something happening here. I need to just chill out right here. And my German Shepherd would do the same thing. So it's just a beautiful thing. I mean, that's not something you can teach an animal to do, especially a wild deer. So you have your pyramid outside in nature, and all of a sudden you leave it out there, Next day you go out to meditate and you look up and there's a deer under it. How cool is that?
Well, what would be really cool is if they're meditating right next to the deer.
Right? Well, it looks like there's some meditation stones right behind the deer, and the deer was cognizant enough not to touch them or knock them over.
Could you with what's called curling photography? Could you then see the energy with that? You know, with the curling, you can see the human aura. Wouldn't you be able then to see the energy that's around there?
The energy of the pyramid?
No, yeah, the pyramid and the aura of the animal.
Oh, maybe I wouldn't see why not. I mean,
will it be then glowing? That'll be something to see.
yeah, what the difference would be, you know, if you get like an image of the animal outside of the pyramid and then compare it to the animal, the same animal inside the pyramid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you there would be a significant energy, because why else would they be drawn to go underneath that if it wasn't for some kind of healing energy that they're experiencing or something that's very comforting for them?
Yes. Yeah, that would be cool to see. Proof there. There's just proof.
Yes. So thought I'd share that with you guys.
Thank you. That's really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Oh yeah, supernatural is curling photography. That's what it's called, curling photography.
Yes. Yes.
I should get a camera like that so I can show what the energy coming off my hands.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see.
I think I will. Because I'm into proving that Reiki is real.
Well,
I mean, it's
that
real
is
to me, but
oh, sorry?
I said it's real to me, but I'd like it to prove it to everybody else. It's real.
Yeah, with that you can take a before and after picture and you will see a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
This was my German Shepherd underneath the pyramid, and you can see that the angles on there are probably identical to the one with the deer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got the capstone, and there's a little crystal ball underneath the capstone. I didn't notice whether the deer had that little crystal ball there or not. You can't really tell in that picture. But yeah, that's Sammy.
Also feeling the energy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's magical. There's something there is a definite energy that you feel there. You know, I've meditated under that many times myself. Did some other things under there that I can't really say on YouTube.
Does that have quartz crystals in the tubes, or
Where?
are there quartz crystals in the tubes?
That would be great if there were, but no, there aren't. There's just that one crystal ball that hangs down from the center.
Okay. Have you tried sleeping in the pyramid?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you seen a difference with your dream?
No, I didn't notice anything different. The thing is, because, you know, just the way I lay down, you're always probably hitting some part of the copper. And what I did notice is that I probably didn't sleep that well because of too much energy. Honestly, I am one of those people that are wired for energy. I've got an abundance of energy. So, you know, I don't think it would be probably a good idea for me to spend a full night under there, but I have taken naps under the pyramid, and it is a lot of energy. That I can tell you.
Maybe then if you spend a night under it, in the morning you'll be floating.
Right?
Yeah. This is my pyramid.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Flower of life. And I use herbs for the they call them Reiki Oregon pyramids, because I've got herbs in between the copper layers that are in here.
Very cool.
So that's the the basic thing with William Rice orgone chambers, is that he had it layered, organic metal,
Yes.
making a capacitor in a way.
Here's another pyramid that I have. It's a smaller one. You could actually wear it as a hat if you wanted to. Put it on your head. It's all copper though. You could place it over vegetables. You could hang it from the ceiling if you wanted to, or hang it wherever you are. You know, over your body. If you're sleeping, you could hang it over that. But it's it's smaller pyramid like that. Very all copper.
Here's my orgone pyramid. It has a macabre, and I'm not quite sure what the gemstone is. It's a red gemstone, but I have about 5 of these that I bought on Amazon, and I keep them around the house to kind of help absorb all the electromagnetic energy put out by everything, in the world today, including your microwave oven, and I find that if I hold one of these when I meditate, I seem to kind of reach a deeper meditation state. And I was saying the other night, like I have a pretty bad arthritis in my right knee. And sometimes when that kicks up, if I put this on there and then just kind of go about my business, within about 5 minutes, the pain's gone. So, I think these actually do help with that too. I think the orgone power energy definitely exists, and it definitely helps.
Yeah, I've got the orgone and the what is that called? I forgot the name of it. The black, not obsidian. Oh, what is that called?
Shungite.
Shungite. Yes.
Shungite.
Yes. I've got little. I've got the orgone and the shungite pyramids all over my house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so just like little tiny ones, like little 1-inch ones. I place them all over the place. Then I've got some larger ones that, I was showing one of them that I have over here. This is not as large as I have even larger ones than this one, but got some with siesta key sand as in the base. So you got that quartz crystal in there as well. So yeah, just.
You have shungite in that pyramid?
No. I have shungite and shungite pyramids. Hang on a second.
I have shungite in this pyramid.
It's in the shungite pyramid.
The shungite's within it. And I've got crystals, quartz crystals, and beryllium, and
yeah, this one's on my router. These two are on my router. This is a shungite pyramid, and this is a little an orgonite pyramid that I have, and they both sit on my router by my TV, protecting me from those ELF waves.
Yes, I understand that the shungite transmute the bad frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It also works with.
Have you ever thought about maybe making little orgone pyramids using the siesta key?
Yeah, I was mentioning that I do have some that have the siesta key sand in them. They're over on my over to my right over here on my.
I'm just saying those must be pretty cool pyramids. I bet they have a lot of nice properties, a lot of power.
One of the things that whatever you can do with siesta key sand, you can't do anything bad with it. It's put it in the dye when you make tie-dye dye shirts. Put it in the orgone. Have amazing orgone pyramids. So yeah, whatever you can put it in. You should see my car. It's loaded with siesta key sand. Oh, it's all over the place.
You should sweep it up and sell it to me.
I've got like a crystal mobile. My car is because I don't vacuum my car hardly ever at all. I appreciate the crystals that are in there that travel with me, the quartz crystal sand. So.
Nice.
Indeed. Yeah, I need to source some of that, really. Because it's actually gotten kind of hard for me to get materials for my pyramids. Now that don't have access to a vehicle. So it's, bus rides everywhere. And the bus doesn't want, I don't want to be deserted out there at the rock shop. It'll be a long walk back.
So I'm going to open up the mics again. Everyone's mic is unmuted here in Zoom. If you want to jump in, you're more than welcome to. Marta on YouTube is saying that I put shungite in my water bottle. Marta, that's originally what I was doing with a lot. I've got some just plain shungite stones, and I have this bottle. Well, it's a pitcher that has a tube that goes down into it with like a little tiny cage where you can put stones in there. And that's what I would do. I'd do the ozone shungite water with that. So yeah, I think that's a great idea to put shungite in your water bottle. Definitely.
Yeah, I have it in my water bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it purifies the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, well, I think I'm probably going to end it a little early tonight. We've been on for a couple hours. I want to thank everybody for joining us here on Spirit Chat. Those who have the courage to come on and talk. Alex was a first timer tonight, and we had other people as well. Thank you for joining us. Get your courage up. Make sure you join us as well one of these times, because people want to hear your stories. Everyone's got amazing stories to tell. You're included. I also want to encourage people to check out In5D Quantum Tie-Dye. Check out these shirts. They're loaded with energy. So if you find one that you resonate with, get it. And also, if you want to join us on In5D Patreon, if you're guided to do so, join us there as well. So once again, thank you everyone for joining us here on In5D. I've noticed that since the beginning of the month, up until this video, we've had, it's been 24 days. We've had 16 videos. So that's 2 videos every 3 days. So we've been cranking them out, and we're going to continue cranking them out. We're going to be talking about lots of different topics, lots of different subjects. You're going to have plenty of opportunity to come on here and share your stories. Everyone wants to hear what you have to say. So break out of your introvertedness. If I can do it, if Alex can do it, if Gary can do it, Julia, and everyone else that you've been watching here, we're all introverts. If we can do it, you can too. So until the next time, this is Greg from In5D, and I'm sending you all infinite love and light. Namaste.
Namaste. Love and light.
Namaste.